What you got for me?
IG didn't kill Zeke. The source doesn't get more reliable than this.
Be careful about your next moves. You never know who could be watching.
I'm not like my dad. I'm smarter than him. Better than him.
What up, welcome back to the channel. I'm Monet and we're locked in. This is the recap for episode 5 of book 2 Ghost, and I have to say it. The momentum is rolling and you can't stop, won't stop them, because Power, they doing their thing. Now we know that they go to Italy. They got a little problems there, and Noma, she comes and solves everything. But when we get back to America, things seem to get a little bit worse, because in this episode, Lauren comes back and she confronts Tariq. So before we jump into this and break it down, if you like Power content, breakdowns, theories, and predictions, then hit your subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Make sure you hit that like button and follow me on Instagram right here. Now we do have Mastermind Tasha's Son's merch pinned down in the comment section and description, so go get you some of that. But I know you don't want to hear me do too much talking, so let's jump into it. Episode 5, another great episode. Tariq St. Patrick, you're turning more into James every day. James St. Patrick, you baby ghost. So let's jump into it. This is the recap of episode 5, Ghost. We pick up where we left off. The dead body of Whitman has been shipped up out of the Tejada house, and now Jenny Sullivan is over here questioning Monet. What happened? How did you have time to grab your gun? Now Davis is here and he's trying to limit everything Monet says, because we know when she gets involved in her feelings, they start to be exposed, those emotions, she'll tell a little more than what she needs to. And even Lorenzo is noticing that. So Lorenzo steps in and tells Jenny, listen, why are you talking to my wife like she's a suspect? She was the victim. Whitman broke into the house. Now they're trying to get Jenny out of here because they know that she's on their case, but at least we got Whitman out of the way. Some people say it was a bad move. Some people say it was a good move. As of right now, it worked because we live for another episode. Davis does have to pull Monet to the side after Jenny leaves and let her know, you did kill a police officer. The block is always going to be hot from here on out, but it should be back to normal business by the end of the day. Oh, also, don't jump to conclusions with the file. You remember Monet looked in the file and seen Lorenzo's fingerprints were at the crime scene, but she's saying, hey, I got rid of the file. I don't want nobody to know that I had it. And Davis is saying that's good because he doesn't want her to do something reckless like she did with Whitman. Back in the classroom, this week we have Congressman Tate showing up to assist Bennett. Now we know that they were talking about a land of opportunity. This week we're talking about, can you be reinvented in America? And also, is there a stigmatism that sticks with people, certain people of color? Now the class is going back and forth. Everyone has nice opinions to add to it, but in the back of the class, Tariq is getting a text from Monet. So yeah, even though people been wrongfully accused, people has been treated different ways because of the perception of them, Tariq is still in the back answering text messages, further proving that, hey, he might be a stereotype, but he's doing everything to keep him in that stereotype, because Monet wants to know about international guap and where he was during Zeke's murder. Tate and Tariq, they work closely together. They both need each other. Well, they both use each other. Now, we know that Tariq owes Tate for helping him get a room. Also, he has to pay Tate $5,000 a week in Bitcoin, but he does give Tate some information. He says, hey, I need to find out a little bit of information about this Zeke. They saying on the streets that a GTG member, IG, International Guap, he killed him. Can you find out for me? Now, of course, Tate, he needs to give information to Jenny to get her off of his back. So he tells her, I need to meet up with you. I got some valuable information, because this information will link anything to the Tejadas, which Jenny is trying to get the Tejadas. Back at Weston Holdings, if you can remember, Tariq pulled a move off to get RSJ to come and invest his money with Weston Holdings, and that was to go into his trust and sell to QCP. Now RSJ is interested, but you remember there's an Italian tech company that Lucas and Weston Holdings are looking to invest in. And since RSJ is one of the limited partners, they want to bring him in at the ground floor so he can invest a lot of money. Now, they got to go to Italy. RSJ wants to see what information they have. And who speaks Italian? Tariq. So RSJ is saying, I want to bring Tariq. Or is that too many black folk? Lucas said, okay. So they're going to bring Tariq along as a translator so they can talk to the company. But Tariq says he needs to bring somebody with them because originally him and Effie had plans. So RSJ, he said, you know what? that'd be magnificent because money ain't a thing to RSJ, and Tariq is about to help him close this deal because if this tech company wants us to invest, they need to sell the product to us. They don't need to think we're coming over here that's a done deal off the back. Monet, she's doing exactly what she told David she wasn't going to do, jump to conclusions. She calls up Kane. Kane, come outside, let me talk to you. And the first thing she asks is, who told you that IG killed Zeke? Now he's getting a little quiet because he knows that Lorenzo did it, but he says Pops did. She's saying, how did Pops find out? But you gotta remember, Poppy, aka Lorenzo, he used to be somebody in the street, so his word, it should hold up. We seen that with Gordo, the 4Gs from Brooklyn. When he stepped up and said this is what happened, they had to believe it. Now he's covering for his pops because he told him last week his secret is safe. But Monet can sense that something is going on because even Drew said they've been acting weird over these last couple of weeks. So Monet is trying to gather information on who actually killed Zeke and who could potentially know. We're getting ready to get on a PJ, a private jet, bought to you in part by RSJ. Now Tariq is asking RSJ a few things and he's actually thanking him for bringing him on this trip. And RSJ is just letting him know, hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do out here, but never be discouraged. Kiki is also talking to Braden because Braden knows he's going over here and he's not going to really have too much input. He is just an intern. He is up under Kiki and Tariq is going to be doing the translating. So he's here talking about, let's find out how to party. But Kiki is saying that's not what we're here for. Braden is a Weston. That's all he has to do is party. His family is set. No matter what he does in life, he's always going to have that position over at Weston Holdings. But as he walks off, he drops his phone. Kiki picks it up, and what does she find in there? Crash coin is being deposited into Braden's account rapidly at a speed we've never seen before. So she's kind of curious about what is he doing with Crash coin because that was a failed crypto that was up under Lucas with Weston Holdings. Now the Justice League, they're in shambles. Whitman died, RIP, they brought in Sachs. But right now, no one has any real information because Sachs was doing a lot of the field work. DEA, aka Blanca, she had other avenues that she was working. Now Sachs, he is giving information to Jenny so he could try to get some and they can fix their relationship. But at the same time, he's still protecting Tariq. He's still protecting everything that he has going on with Davis. So he's playing both sides. But as of right now, it's looking like Sachs is making sure that everybody is staying out of trouble because at the end of the day, he works with Davis. Lorenzo and Kane, on the other hand, are having a conversation about Zeke and Monet potentially knowing about who killed Zeke. Kane wants Lorenzo to tell Monet that it was an accident, he didn't mean it, and we can just put this behind us. But Lorenzo knows Monet better than anybody, and he knows she's not going to let that ride. So with Monet knowing about this, Lorenzo hearing it, he's even more nervous about the situation. And then your son is telling you to go ahead and admit that you killed Zeke. Lorenzo said, I can't do that because he knows Monet's going to be after him until he dies. But he has to get this off his chest one way or another. While all that's going down, Drew is supposed to be expanding the footprint of the Tejada organization. He's with Gordo. They're doing their thing. But it comes to find out, Gordo gets a text message. This message is, hey, there was a CI getting medevac, aka the hillbilly that Drew shot didn't die. Now, Drew is saying if that's a CI, we need to handle that. But then the whole situation with Frank gets brought up and Gordo says, I'm not a snitch like my father was. But we do need to handle this because if not, then it's all gonna come back down on us. So Drew is saying, we need to go, we need to handle this. What hospital is it? These two, they gotta get on the run because they've been hanging out, but they need to get back to business. Monet goes to speak with Evelyn. Tejada, Castillo, they linking up. But she shows up and she's paying her condolences to Uncle Frank. But she also gives us some information. She tells Evelyn, hey, I know you don't want to hear this, but when they found out that Frank was telling, Lorenzo put a hit on him. And Evelyn saying, why are you giving me this information? She said, because I can't live with this guilt. So what Monet is doing is trying to line people up to take out Lorenzo for her so her hands don't get dirty because she just killed Detective Whitman. Now, Evelyn, she's listening to it and she's saying, nah, I don't want nothing to do with this because I can trust you, Monet, as much as you can trust me. and she knows that Monet plays a dirty game. But she has now found out that a Tejada was involved with Frank's missing, aka chopped up, put in barrels, shipped out. We land in Italy. It's time to make some money. Let's go see what this tech company got going on. Now RSJ goes in there, and of course he's going to be one of the primary investors, so he wants to see the company for what it is. Now when they get in there, it sounds good. Everyone's looking at it like, okay, good. But then our young mastermind, Tariq St. Patrick, speaks up. Since he speaks Italian, he actually went and got a couple of articles, translated, and he read, okay, good. But you remember he brought his +1, who was Effie, who's good in robotics, who found out that this Italian company, the product that they have, amazing product, but they don't have a patent for it. And without a patent, you really can't sell it. That means anyone else can recreate it, do whatever they want with it. You don't own it at the point. So RSJ is saying, listen, if you guys give us 20% ownership instead of the 15 that we were asking, we'll get the patents fixed today. We can have it handled by Monday. So this company is hearing it, and of course, if they want to take it to the big leagues, they need that patent. And if RSJ can get that done, we got to partner with them. Now 20% ain't bad, especially when they're putting up that much money. So it looks like the Italian company, they gonna take it. Thank you, Kiki, Tariq, Effie. Braden will give you credit, because if it wasn't for you, you wouldn't have brought Tariq in. So Braden, you get some credit also. Drew and Gordo, they arrived to the hospital. You have to remember, this CI was a CI for the DEA. 4 hillbilly shot. He got shot in the spine. He has photos on the phone. Blanca needs this. So Drew, Gordo, they hide in the closet and they wait till things die down, because they don't want to be seen out here, especially after they were the ones involved in this shooting. After a business meeting, Tariq and Effie, they sit down. They start fantasizing about how life should be. Tariq is saying how he wants to be out the game, like James St. Patrick. How he wants to settle down, like James St. Patrick. How he wants him and his lady to have a magnificent life together, like James St. Patrick and Angela. But all of this is interrupted because Noma and Obi show up. Now this is where things get a little interesting, because there's a guy named Francisco. One of the biggest suppliers in Europe. And Noma's telling Tariq, hey, it's interesting to know that you guys are out here. You're here with RSJ. You need to get put on the list at Francisco's house, because there's a listening device that Mecca put in there and I need it retrieved. So now these kids went from handling business with RSJ, Weston Holdings, buying a tech company, to now they got to infiltrate Francisco's mansion. And you already know about mansion. There's going to be bodyguards. There's going to be security. And this is just another tough day in Tariq St. Patrick's life. Tariq, Effie, and Braden have a mission impossible to complete, while Drew and Gordo, they finally go out the closet. They go into the evidence room. They give the lady a stack of money. She gives up the evidence. Cell phones. Everything that you need. Everything that has Braden on it, Lorenzo on it, the cars, the guns. Drew finally gets it. Now, right when they walk out, Blanca comes in. Now, Blanca's asking for the same evidence, but the lady behind the counter says, the family already picked up his belongings. So Blanca, she's a little bit hurt. But one thing about Blanca, I know that she's going to do a little more investigating on this, because she's not about to let this slide. When the DEA, CI, the hillbillies had information about who did this shooting. Tariq and RSJ, the bond is getting closer and closer and closer. Now RSJ, very rich, successful black man, billionaire, salute to him. He knows about what's been going on in New York City. That's not something that you don't hear about. The lieutenant governor being in all of this, being involved with Tate shooting somebody at Club Truth. So RSJ, of course he has the connections, and like he did his research on the Weston Holdings and his research with the Italian tech company, he did the same with Tariq. And Tariq is saying, I didn't really know my father that well. But he's saying, from what I heard, it sounds like your father may have had 2 faces. One for the public, one that was private. And that was true. James St. Patrick was different than Jamie. Jamie St. Patrick was different than Ghost. He had 3 faces. Upstairs, the mischievous 2, Brayden and Effie, they're walking around the room where all of the meetings are done for Francisco. Now, they're looking for a listening device. Very small device. It could be anywhere. Brayden's in here looking around. Effie, she's supposed to be a watch out. She's supposed to be looking to see if anybody's coming. But as soon as she leaves the room, security comes in and snatches Brayden up, asking him, what are you doing in here? Because right now, this is a major violation for snooping around Francisco's mansion. Now, Effie, she plays it smart. She's like, hey, could you show me the private art collection? That's all I was looking for. Security fell for it. But right now, Brayden is kidnapped and we don't know where the hell he's at. Tejada family, life seems like, hey, it's on the up and up. Whitman is gone. We killed who killed Zeke. Yeah, life is good. Everyone's talking about playing spades. Diana's looking at Monet a little sideways. Monet, you know you can never trust how Monet's looking. If she gives you a little smile, you might die after that. But in the kitchen, Diana and Lorenzo go in there and they have a little conversation. And he tells Diana, I'm officially letting you out of the dope game. I'm not going to bring you any more work. I'm going to figure it out, have Kane, have me move work somewhere else. But I just want you to finish school and do your thing. Stay focused. Now, Diana is hearing this and she can't believe it. So Poppy, she gives him a hug. And like I said, the Tejada family, from right now, it looks like life is good, man. We shouldn't have any more issues from them in the streets. The Tejadas having a Brady Bunch moment, family reunion, kicking it, thinking about all the good times. Braden, on the other hand, he's getting the good times beat out of him. They got him tied up in his drawers, gut shot, pap, pap, boom. He's talking about, man, look, I'm Weston. I got a lot of money. Francisco comes in here and says, hey, what were you doing snooping around here? That's a violation. So basically, they applying that pressure. They know Weston got money, but they want to know why were you snooping around? Because if the Westons got money like that, then there's no reason for you to be doing any shady business. And just like you, if you found someone snooping around in your back room, you're going to question them about it. And right now, Braden is ugly. Back at this nice, when I tell you nice hotel, Tariq and Effie, they kicking it. Effie is saying, hey, they took Braden. I don't know where he's at. Kiki comes and knocks on the door and says, hey, where's Braden? Effie gets upset and says, we left him at the mansion. That was the last place we seen him. Now they are in Italy. You don't just leave a friend at a place. Now, when I travel, if you ain't ready to go when I'm ready to go, then good luck to you. But if my friend got kidnapped, that's a whole different story. I got to stay there and try to figure things out. But Tariq and Effie, they need to figure it out because Kiki said, I need to see y'all in the morning time. So Tariq comes up with a plan using what they took as leverage. We exchange the listening device with Francisco. We get Braden back. We can all go back to New York like nothing happened. Monet is always one step ahead. We know that she threw the bait out to Evelyn about Lorenzo putting a hit on Frank. Didn't work. Gordo shows up to meet up with Drew. Now Monet, she's asking him a couple of questions. Hey, how did you feel when Frank died? Did you ever get over it? How long did you grieve? Did that anger ever disappear? So right now what she's doing is trying to relate to Gordo to make him open up to her so they can be on the same page because Zeke died. Gordo apologized. Hey, I'm sorry I couldn't make it. I wish I could have been there. But now she's showing him that she has an emotional side. She's grieving over Zeke. And she asks, Gordo, what would you do if you knew who killed Frank? And he said, I would slit their throat. Yeah, Monet is planting that little plug right there, just putting it in his ear. What would you do? How would you act? And Gordo, hey man, he in the streets. How you think he's gonna act? He said he'll slit their throat. As I was mentioning earlier, Sax is playing both sides. He's trying to give information to Jenny, but he's also helping Davis out, shooting down any of the theories that Tariq has something to do with it. But he does find in the unredacted case file of Theo that, hey, they really messed up and violated his rights. We can get him out of jail for this. Davis said, man, great, let me go talk to Theo, come with me. Sax says, nah, you do it. Plus, I gotta file the paperwork to get this motion started. He goes into the desk because he seen that Davis was hiding something. And in that desk, it was Whitman's file. He goes in there, sees Whitman's file, and what does he do? He texts Jenny. Davis has a copy of the police file that he stole from Whitman. But Jenny doesn't reply. She can't talk right now. Well, we got a meeting with Francisco. Listening device for Braden. Is it really worth your life? Yes, Braden, we showed up. Now, mind you, they have to get back to the place to check out because Kiki told them to be there bright and early. Now Francisco grabs Tariq and he's asking, who do you work for? Because if you were to sneak in the house, and plus I know Mecca was the one that put that listening device in my place, who do you work for? Now Tariq is scared because at this point, we don't know what the hell's gonna happen. But out of nowhere, you hear a gunshot and you're like, whoa, what's going on here? We didn't bring any guns with us. There's snipers on the hill. Noma and Obi pop up. Pap, pap, pap. They start taking out Francisco's people. They got snipers up there overlooking them. Noma's down here putting in work on the ground floor. Noma is not to be played with. Her and Obi, they do what they need to do. Noma takes out Francisco. The snipers take out 2 of the other people. Obi catches a body. Braden's all beat up. And now she's looking at Tariq and his crew and said, I underestimated you guys. But you all have to remember, they're here to replace Dante. Yeah, Dante Spears. So they got to move guns. They got to move drugs. They got to do all the dirty work for Noma because she practically owns them at this point. But she's saying, you guys got a bright future with me. Now, Francisco, turns out that him and Noma used to be involved, and it's a little bit deeper than that. After all of that, we got to head back, pack up, and get ready to go back to New York. RSJ is not playing. Now, we hear Effie say, let's try to get at Noma. Let's try to take her out. And Tariq is just like us. We just seen snipers on the hill. We seen her and Obi come in here close and personal, take people out. Now, Effie says we have a way to get at Noma. There's a little girl in this picture. If we can find this girl, we can use the girl against Noma. So Noma and Francisco, they had a kid together. Now, there's people going around. Maybe this kid is Effie. Maybe this kid is Kiki. We don't know at this point. But if it's Effie, why are we looking for the kid? And Noma would know who her kid is unless they're conspiring together. But as of right now, we don't really know. We're going to have to wait and find out. But if they can get to this kid wherever she is in the world, that might be a way to leverage something against Noma to get out of this lifetime deal. The Tejada household isn't a household unless it has a little bit of drama. We were playing spades. Diana's out the game. I said, man, brighter days are around the corner. But Lorenzo, for some reason, feels like he has to tell Monet. He can't let that stay inside. It's been a couple of months, and he finally admits, Monet, I don't want you to get mad at me. It was an accident. I went there to kill Dante, but I accidentally shot Zeke. I'm sorry, I apologize. But you brought Zeke into this life, so he tried to flip it on Monet. Monet is the one that brought Zeke into this life and brought him back into this life in New York. But he says it, she throws a glass at him, she's not trying to hear it. So now it's confirmed that he did it, and of course, she already put that bug in Gordo's ear. She tells him to get the hell out the house and we'll tell the kids we're separated. Sax has been hitting up Jenny because he has information about Davis taking witness foul. But Jenny wants all this information, she's not answering his calls. So he pulled up on her, watched her from down the street, called her, she hung up on him. He followed her to the house. And he's asking her, Jenny, what are you doing? Who are you hiding in here if you got security like that? Jenny's trying to cover things up. But guess who hears all the commotion outside? Lauren. Now Lauren is supposed to be dead. Sax sees this and he's like, whoa, Jenny, this is out of line. But he now knows that Lauren is alive, and he also lets Lauren know Tariq didn't have anything to do with your disappearance. Tariq didn't know about it until I told him. He also tells Lauren she can't legally keep you here like we've been saying over the last 4 episodes. Lauren needs to leave. So now Lauren is looking at Jenny saying, you're using me? You've lied to me? Now Saxon turned his back on Jenny, and it looks like Lauren, she's about to do the same thing. And this right here is going to mess up that Rico, because if Lauren is exposed of being alive, oh yeah, everyone's going to be looking at Jenny as another botch attorney messing things up. Well, later on that night, Tariq gets a text message. Just like I said, Sax and Lauren turned on Jenny. Lauren gets out, she texts Tariq, meet me at the South Gate. Tariq gets there, he's not knowing who it is. Lauren pops up with a box cutter and a hoodie because she don't know who to trust. Now, we just heard Sax say Tariq didn't have anything to do with it. Tariq doesn't even know what's going on. He's surprised that she's alive. But she's telling him, hey, I can't trust you right now, but Brayden, Effie, Kane, no one can know I'm alive. I'm working with the feds. They're going to come after me because they tried to kill me. So now this leaves the question, is Tariq going to be able to trust Brayden and Effie? Because she's saying Effie did it, Braden was the one that dropped her off. Who can we trust? But Lauren is out and Tariq knows. Back in the room, Effie's laying in the bed and Tariq now, he's at a crossroad. Does he believe anything Effie is telling him? Does he really believe that he just seen Lauren? Is Braden really someone he could depend on? Well, he doesn't say much to Effie. He just gets in the bed and she says, I love you. He don't say anything back because it got him thinking. Lorenzo got kicked out the house, so he's about to dip. The kids are over playing spades. Monet said she's going to tell him that they separated. When he goes to his car, it's right in front of Zeke's memorial. He sees a nail in his tire. Now, you and I, we're regular folk. We see a nail in our tire, we're just going to change our tire. But when Monet told you to get out the house, you should have known to be aware at all times because Monet don't play. And guess what? Gordo shows up. He put the nail in the tire. Gordo also told Monet, I'll slit whoever's throat who killed my father. And the word on the street is Lorenzo put a hit out on Frank. Well, that hit came around and got him back. Gordo took out Lorenzo, R.I.P. right in front of Zeke's memorial. R.I.P. to Zeke, R.I.P. to Lorenzo. Both of you brothers, may you rest in power. Gordo texts Monet, done, thank you. Monet sees this, cracks a little smile, goes back to spades with Kane, beating Drew and Diana. Tejada family, y'all. This is a family you don't want to be involved with because you never know what's going to go on behind closed doors. All right, there you go, episode 5. Let me know what you think about this whole episode. On top of, how is Tariq going to move? Is him and Braden going to finally get that one-on-one to settle everything and Braden finally admit that Effie is the one that took Lauren? And also, how are the Tejadas going to move knowing that Poppy was taken out? Is Kane going to know that Monet did it? Let me know what you think. I'm J. Make sure you tune in tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, for the after show discussion where we break down each individual character in depth. Also, Mastermind Tasha's Son clothing. The merch is in the link. Go ahead, hit up some of that. We are about 20 subscribers away from 40,000. I appreciate everything. When we hit that 40,000, you know we just gonna go harder to try to hit that 100,000. Thanks for watching. I'm J. I'm out.